Good morning, y'all, and welcome to Tammy, What Not to Give Up Lent Intervention. Now, I was lying in bed this morning, and I was thinking, now, what is the one thing I would really not want to give up? And I thought to myself, pork chops. I did. And then I remembered I had a couple of pork chops in my fridge that were getting close to the sell-by date. And so I thought, well, you know what I'm going to do for my people? I'm going to show them how I fix pork chops. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I am not a cook. I've never been a cook. In fact, what I do is I fix food. And I think that's probably because my mama wasn't a cook. She just fixed food. She'd never say, I'm going to cook dinner. She'd say, I'm going to make dinner. Or I'm going to fix dinner. So what I do is I fix food. And I don't fix too many things, but one of the things I do know how to fix is pork chops. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to put just a little bit of oil in the pan, just so that it gives the pork fat a little bit of a chance to get going and don't stick or nothing. And we're going to get the pan real hot. Now, the thing about this cooking is that we're going to just have to take some time. It's not a lot of time, but there's a certain amount of time, so you have to be patient. You have to make sure that you get the pan nice and hot. And you want it to go like that when the pork chop gets in it. The other thing is that I don't ever put anything on my pork chop. I don't put any salt, I don't put any pepper, because I really like to just taste the pork without any seasoning. Now, y'all might want to salt and pepper it first of all, but for me, I just like to put the pork in the pan. And okay, it's getting here because it's a pretty hot stove. I'm going to just put my pork chops in the pan. Let me just see, let me test it. Oh yeah, see it? I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it's sizzling. So just put your pork in the pan. Now the next thing, this is real important, you're going to time this. And I always time this by using my Siri. And I say, hey Siri, Siri, hey Siri. And Siri, oh there she is. Can you set the timer for 2 minutes? So she did that, isn't that great? And so you're just going to sit here for 2 minutes and you're going to let this sizzle. Now, you might want to turn on a fan or something because it makes a lot of noise and it sizzles a lot and you're going to get grease all over your stove, but I'm telling you something, it's worth it. And you know, I know that for some people, they don't eat meat. And I also know that some people, you know, you don't, certainly don't eat pork for religious reasons, and I completely respect that. But what I want to say is that, you know, I grew up with pork. It's just something that I always had in my life. We had, always had a pig when I was growing up, and we loved that pig, and we nourished that pig. And then when it came time, we slaughtered the pig, and we had food to eat for the rest of the winter. So I love pork, and I always will love pork. And in fact, one time, I tried to be a vegetarian, but, you know, I got so sick I had to give it up. And I just, you know, I'd wake up every morning thinking about bacon. So I decided to just respect where I had come from, respect the kind of food that I grew up with. And then I remembered that my mama used to say something to me, and she'd say, you know, when I was trying to be a vegetarian, she'd say something to me like, you know what, Tammy, do not feel sorry for your food. You know, and where lots of people come from, we don't really have the luxury to feel sorry or even that particular about our food. Now, after about 1.5 minutes, if you want to just switch it around a little bit just to make sure that it ain't sticking to the pan. And like I said, sometimes it's hard to be patient. You start to want to fiddle with the thing before it's ready, but you've got to wait for those 2 minutes. Here it comes. You only got 17 seconds left, 15 seconds left. Just be a little patient. And you also want to make sure that that fat gets nice and crispy before you turn it over. Okay, here we go. And the buzzer is going to go off any second now. Here we go. And now, here we go. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to turn these over. Oh, you see, now I like them nice and crispy. And for you, it might be a little too brown, but that's okay. And if it's too brown, you can kind of turn it down. And let's set it again. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Are you still there? There. Could you set the timer for 2 minutes? Oh, dear. Sometimes she just doesn't understand what I'm talking about. Can you? Here, let's try again. Can you set the timer for 2 minutes? I love it when she talks to me. It makes me feel a whole lot less lonely. Okay, I'm going to scoop these around a little bit. Just 2 more minutes. Now, here's an interesting thing about time. You know, we got 2 minutes here. Well, we got a minute and 45 seconds to wait while this gets brown on the other side. And it's funny about that kind of in-between time, isn't it? There's a couple of things you can do with in-between time. You can just be in the time, like I am with you right now. We can look at the pork chops cooking. We can think about the day we're in. We can just be in the moment. And I think that's what they call mindfulness. Can just be with the cooking pork chops. Or you could probably use that 2 minutes to think about something else. Now, let's see. What can we think about? Now, one of the things I'm thinking about today is that this is the end of March, and soon it's going to be the beginning of April. And I just love April. And when I think about April, I think about wildflowers like violets blooming in the yard. And I think about the days getting a little bit longer. And I think about the air just getting that tiny bit warmer. Let's just check these out now. Move them around. You see how I couldn't wait? I was impatient. But it's real important to just be patient and let the thing do the thing. I got 39 more minutes. No, sorry, 39 more seconds. And then we're going to do something else. But I was trying to talk about how to be in these 2 minutes. And sometimes you think, well, 2 minutes is nothing. It goes by like that. But actually, it's quite long when you're trying to cook pork chops. So I want you to, for the next 16 seconds, I'm going to let us just be quiet for a minute and just think about the things you're thinking about today. That's what I mean. Just think about the things you're thinking about. Don't think about 3 things at once. Think about the things you're thinking about. Here we go. Okay, and now it's time to turn them over. See how they look on that side? Oh, they're nice and brown. I like them real nice and brown. The black and the pork chop. And then turn it way down. Way, way down. Turn the heat way down. Gotta be specific. There we go, way down. And then we're going to just cover them up. And we're going to let them sit like that for 5 minutes while they do their thing. Now, I'm not going to sit with y'all and talk to y'all for 5 minutes, but for the next 5 minutes, what I'd like for you to do is to think about the things you grew up with. And what is it about the things you grew up with, whether it's food or whether it's a tradition or whether it's a friend, that you wouldn't want to give up today? And I want you to think about them. And I also want you to think about time. I want you to think about that kind of in-between time that we often just give up because we're not really present in that moment. So the next time you're on the bus or you're cooking a pork chop and you got 2 minutes or you got 5 minutes, just think, okay, this is my 2 minutes of life. I'm going to think about them and I'm going to be in them. So those are the things I don't want to give up today. I'll let you know tomorrow how good the pork chops tasted. And I'll have something else to talk about with you tomorrow on Tammy's What Not to Give Up Lent Intervention. Bye.